Has it ever happened to you that everything is going really well with someone? There are no arguments or problems, and yet suddenly you decide to distance yourself? Not because you don't love them anymore, not because they're a bad person, just because there's this weird fear somewhere deep inside you, a fear that one day they'll decide to leave. Whenever I felt like I was getting close to someone, at some point a part of my mind would start saying, things are good right now, but wait, they're going to leave you eventually. So before they do, you should leave first. Back then, I thought I was protecting myself. But later, I realized that I was actually creating the very thing I was afraid of. A lot of the time, we're not really afraid of being alone. We're afraid of the pain of being abandoned. Because being abandoned isn't just about losing someone. Sometimes it makes you feel like you weren't lovable enough, like there was something wrong with you. And your mind, just trying to make sure you never experience that pain again, finds a way. It says, don't let it get to that point. End it yourself. The problem is, this might make you feel safe in the short term, but in the long term, it keeps you from ever letting a relationship become truly deep. Because every time a relationship starts getting serious, you hit the exit button. Psychologists call this pattern avoidant attachment. It means you want intimacy, but at the same time, you're afraid of it. One part of you wants someone to actually stay, but another part says, no, this is dangerous. Maybe you were hurt in a relationship or by something you experienced in the past, and your mind learned to run away before it could get hurt again. It's like someone who burned their hand once and now won't even go near steam. So, how do you know if you actually want to leave the relationship or if it's just fear talking? Here's a question to ask yourself. If I knew for a fact that this person would never leave me, would I still want to leave? If your answer is yes, then maybe the desire to leave is actually real. It could be because your needs aren't being met in the relationship. But if your answer is no, then maybe what you're experiencing isn't really the desire to leave. Maybe it's the fear of being abandoned. But there's a difference between leaving an unhealthy relationship and running away from a healthy one just because you're afraid. There's no guarantee that any relationship will last forever. Just like there's no guarantee that it will fail. We usually look for certainty. Maybe they'll leave. Maybe they'll stay for years. We don't know what the future holds, but if we always ruin everything ourselves before we ever get to that future, we'll never know what could have actually happened. If you recognize this pattern in yourself, ask yourself, do I really want to walk away from this person? Or am I running away from my fear? Sometimes just those few minutes of pausing can completely change the direction of a relationship.